You can go anytime.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so my name is Daryl O'Sullivan, and I'm on the board of directors of the Western Neuropathy Association. And again, I want to welcome you to the third day of our 2021 Western Neuropathy 3-day annual conference, May the 12th through the 14th via Zoom. So during the last 2 days, we have learned about stem cells and about the diagnostic processes used by neuromuscular neurologists to diagnose and treat our peripheral neuropathy. We have learned a little about each other and what we do to manage our peripheral neuropathy. Today, we will explore how nutrition and exercise can help. There will be a question and answer period at the end of the presentation. And at the very end of the conference, you will also be asked to do an evaluation. And we'll talk about that a little later on. So don't worry about it right now. So today's presentations will include two different presentations. The first one by Barbara Montgomery she will speak on nutrition. And the second hour will be a gentle yoga lesson by Julie Falagant. And so those two will be really, I think, really make us very comfortable, and we'll understand a lot more about how we take care of ourselves. The last thing I want to mention before we introduce the speaker for this morning, or the first speaker, is that this is Neuropathy Awareness Week. And again, I want to encourage each of you to tell someone you meet or talk about about your neuropathy. Make them aware of the disease and what you go through all the time. And this could, that could be friends or somebody you haven't really told this to. Anyway, just want to encourage you to do that and to make sure people understand what you're going through. So at this time, if Sonia, if you're there, I would really like to introduce you. Are you there?
I'm here, Daryl.
Okay, thanks, Sonia. All right, so I'd like to introduce Sonia Wells, one of our very active board members. She does all kinds of talks and works with people on drugs and what they should take and what they shouldn't, because Sonia's a pharmacist. And she's also the leader of the Sacramento Western Neuropathy Association Support Group. So I'll turn it over to Sonia, who will introduce Barbara Montgomery. Sonia, it's all yours.
Thank you, Daryl. I am honored to introduce Barbara Montgomery. In Barbara's search to learn and understand neuropathy, she found the doctor she went to knew very little and explained even less. There were no support groups in her area, so in 2017, she started and led the Las Vegas support group until 2020, when COVID-19 put a stop to their meetings. She has presented education on heart health and plant-based nutrition to hospitals, professional trade schools, senior communities, as well as interviews on neuropathy to various magazines, a worldwide television station, various neuropathy groups and organizations. She continues to learn and present on plant-based nutrition for overall health, and we are the recipients of that education today. Take it away, Barbara.
Well, thank you, Sonia, for that great introduction, and hello, everyone, and have a great afternoon. And this has been just a wonderful conference. So I want you to take off your shoes, get comfortable, and let's sit back and learn about some of the things that can actually help with our neuropathy pain. These are things that I have learned from trial and error, and I want to share this with you. Again, I'm Barbara Montgomery. One of the things I am is a certified health coach and an instructor for the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. But one of my most important roles, I suppose, is just learning and trying to find out more about this neuropathy and how I can share it with others. I want to give a very special thank you to Bev Anderson, because without her, our group would not have started. I wouldn't have the information that I currently have today. And if you haven't joined this wonderful organization, I strongly suggest that you become a member. The screen is covering a little bit of my talk. Is there a way that I can move the pictures, Lindsay? The group?
Yeah, it's if you're on full screen, you should see yourself side by side to your PowerPoint.
Yeah, can I move? Oh, I got it. I did it. Okay, so I want to give a disclaimer first, because this information is for educational purposes only. I am not a physician. I am a health educator. and I share what I know and what I have learned. So you want to check with your doctor, your qualified healthcare provider before beginning any of these programs, a diet, a lifestyle change of any kind. And I have to keep moving us here. I'm just going to share, it looks long, but I'm going to go through this quick because I think it might help some of you, because I think some of you might have been in the same situation. 2008, they told me I had a cholesterol level of 217 or 277. That meant absolutely nothing to me at the time, and kind of big deal, I thought. And I went on my merry way until 2010. I had my first indication of what it turned out to be peripheral neuropathy. At the time, it was just 2 numb toes. And I went to the podiatrist because I didn't know where else to go at the time. And he said, you have neuropathy. That meant nothing to me because it was just like saying you have a cold. I thought I can live with these 2 little numb toes. 2011, I was put in the hospital with a 95% clogged left ascending artery and almost had a severe heart attack. Well, that kind of woke me up. And that was when my search was on, really full throttle, for answers at that time only for my heart. 2012, my heart was good, but my feet were getting progressively worse. They were numb and burning, and now it was both feet that were doing this. I was very confused. I didn't know where to go, who to talk to. I had just moved here to Las Vegas, so I didn't know anybody. Also, 2012, I completed that year of studying to become a health coach, which was what led me because of my heart, and studied over 100 different diet theories and health philosophies. Now, I've always kind of leaned towards nutrition and health, but this was just a real big eye-opener for me. What started me even more so was in 2012, and I was new to my healthy lifestyle. My son became very ill. He had an infection from surgery. He literally almost died in the living room. I went into full speed again on how can I help him recover. Doctors really didn't know. He just kept losing weight. His body was not accepting any nutrition or any nutrients. They didn't tell me that. I studied and found that out. After about 6 months, went back to the doctor, periodically would go in between. He looked at me, he pointed to me, and he says, you know, you saved your son's life. I said, yes, I knew it, I knew why, and I knew how. He asked me for my outline, which I had very minimal of at the time. But my son today is much better, much better. 2013, I thought I needed to learn even more about nutrition, so I took a course at Cornell, 2013 also. I didn't know how to cook plant-based or healthy cooking. Now, I'm plant-based. Not everybody here is, not everybody will be, and we'll discuss that. But for me, that was the best route to go. And I didn't know how to cook it. I'm from Kansas. Everything was fried and mashed and gravy and you name it. I loved it. 2014 to 21, here I am. I'm studying the philosophy of pain, continue to learn about neuropathy. 2017, my search for peripheral neuropathy answers led me to Beverly. And I started the Las Vegas Neuropathy Support Group because there was no group for me to attend. So just because you don't know too much about neuropathy, you can be a leader if you care and if you have the great support like I had from Bev and the Western Neuropathy Association. Our group continued until 2020 when COVID-19 hit, but we did become known from coast to coast. 2018, I was accepted and trained as a certified educator for the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. It's just sent me more so into health and nutrition. There's other things that I do for my neuropathy besides the way I eat, believe me. And I'm more than happy to share that with anybody. You'll see my email at the end. But I'm here today because I suffer from idiopathic small nerve fiber neuropathy. I want you to know that you are not alone. I felt pretty much alone. I continue to learn, as I told you, and how nutrition plays a role in our lives. I'm not going to go into where I presented. We kind of talked about that, but I share with you, I share with others because I want to learn and because I want to help. Again, I thank Beverly so much for all of that. So here's what we're going to discuss today. Lifestyle foods. I coined that as I was writing this presentation because I thought nutrition sounded a little boring. Wish I'd have thought of it early, but lifestyle foods and nerve pain. We're going to talk about main food pain triggers and foods that are known to cause nerve damage. Who knew? Foods and supplements to help support this nerve damage. And I brought in a few delicious, easy recipes because I cook easy. And Beverly, that was Beverly's idea, or Bev's idea. So we'll enjoy some of those as well. Did you know that there are over 100 different conditions that can lead to neuropathy? So that's why what works for you doesn't work for me, and what works for me may not work for you. It's as important to know what to eat as it is to know what to avoid in order to improve this tingling, this numbness, this burning, and just nerve pain, all the pains that we have in general. Some people don't even have pains, just maybe tingling and numbness, but balance issues, so many things. So for some, I do want to say this because I think it's very important. For some, these lifestyle foods may resolve and improve your neuropathy. It sure did mine, and it sure keeps a lot of it at bay. But for others, lifestyle changes may change nothing. We don't know why. It's just the way this disease is. And there's so many nerves involved. Everyone's different. It's kind of a trial and error, but don't give up. Do not give up. It's important to work with your doctor and have a plan of action. If they don't know what to do, you need to ask. Do not walk out of there until you have your answers. Make a list. I've talked about that in other presentations, but it's so important. The good news is that the side effects of the efforts are good for everyone. So however you follow what I'm about to share, it's going to be good for you, may make a difference in your neuropathy. It's going to give a strong support to your immune system, which is so important today with the COVID going on. It can even help to reduce the risk or the reversal of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and even some forms of cancer and pain. There are many ways to help cope with our neuropathy. So today I'm just going to focus on what I call the lifestyle foods. I think this is kind of an important slide because it shows a healthy nerve at the top. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Healthy nerve at the top, and then here is a damaged cell. Same with down here. Here's healthy, and here's damaged. The nerves are protected by this myelin sheath. It goes all up and down our nerves. These contain very high levels of fatty acids. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. That's very important though. By eating the right kinds of foods, the more your body will have what it needs to produce more of a protective myelin sheath. Now, it's not going to cure everyone, but it can help. There's so much that can help, and we at least need to try. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to even try. So inflammation, I'm going to talk about briefly, but some of the symptoms that we have for inflammation is going to be tingling, pins and needles sensation, pain, muscle weakness, balancing issues. There's even neuropathic itching, numbness, pain, and more. The treatment plan is going to depend on the causative factor. If you don't know what is causing your neuropathy, you might want to talk to your doctor. Again, they may not know, but it certainly does help if you can find out even the type of neuropathy you have, if you don't find out the cause. at least find out the type that you have. And we talked about that. That was talked about earlier in the week. So what causes damages to this myelin sheath? You see this tomato over here. Here's a nice juicy tomato, sits out a couple of days, starts to look kind of brown and spotty. That's called oxidation. Oxidation is caused from free radicals. They just are molecules that bounce around and they damage other molecules in the short definition, to where we end up with this rotten looking tomato. Here's a cell. Here's a normal cell. Here's a cell with a little bit of oxidative stress or the free radicals, and then a damaged cell. Chronic inflammation is a major cause of disease, most disease. It causes free radicals and it causes this oxidative stress to take place in our bodies. The more free radicals in our body, the more damage to our body. We can't avoid free radicals. We have them everywhere, but we can help to limit them. Chronic inflammation can be reduced. I had very chronic inflammation. I was tested just recently and my inflammation level is very low. So let's first look at some of the foods to avoid that can trigger this inflammation and neuropathy pain. There's a lot more than what I have here, but these are some of the main issues, the main food pain triggers. Sugar, stay away from it. It's lethal, it's not healthy. White sugar, it robs the body of B vitamins and it has a damaging effect on the nervous system. It has a damaging effect on our nerves. High fructose corn syrup, if you see that in any ingredient, avoid it. Coke, soft drinks, diet drinks, all of those things. It causes nerve damage, causes inflammation, causes the free radicals, and it causes less blood and oxygen to even be able to get through the nerves and to nourish our cells. Cancer cells feed on sugar. Refined simple carbohydrates. What are refined simple carbohydrates? We hear a lot about carbs. I'm going to touch bases on that. Don't get bored with it. I know I did at first, but it's really important for our nerves and for our health. White flour, white bread, white rice, bagels, pancakes. These break down into sugars. Unlike whole grains, your refined flour, anything refined or processed, has the fiber and the essential nutrients removed. 80% of the dietary fiber is lost. Now, you may see fortified cereal, fortified milk, fortified bread. That's because they've removed all of that to begin with to make it more appetizing, to make it more appealing, but it increases inflammation. This is an interesting fact, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, that fats. Our brain and nerves rely on natural fat to create and maintain our cell membrane. But trans fats cause cellular destruction. We're going to talk about trans fats, but we do need some fat in our body. We need cholesterol in our body. Our body develops that on its own. Be careful with seafood. Today, seafood is not as fresh as it was. It contains a lot of mercury. Dr. Latove, am I saying that correctly? Dr. Latove talks about that excess mercury can aggravate the nerves, making pain worse and causing inflammation. Someone even told me the mercury fillings in your teeth can affect your nerves. Some people have gone so far as to have that removed. I still have mine, but that's just to stay away from mercury. So not all carbs are created equal. I'm going to step back just a little bit, talk about our carbs. We've got simple carbs. Those are the ones we want to stay away from. Simple carbs in the diets tend to result in reduced fiber and under-consumed nutrients. There's very little nutrients, if any, in any of the processed foods. Sugar, candy, cookies, crackers, chips, donuts, Cokes, Diet Cokes, all of that is bad. Red meat increases cholesterol. You don't have to stop red meat, but try to find a more lean, healthier red meat. I do not eat red meat. I don't eat meat at all. I try to stay on a whole food, plant-based diet. And I sure know when I go off of that, especially with any types of sugar. Red meat increases cholesterol, and it increases that saturated fat, which we want to stay away from, which can cause cardiovascular disease. Take that from me. Now there's the complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates have your nutrients. They're high in fiber. And digest more slowly, so they don't really peak that your blood level. They're a good option for weight control. They help manage that blood sugar, like I just said, from spiking after meals. So what would be some? Your whole wheat bread, your whole grains, your pasta, oats, barley, brown rice, quinoa, fruits, beans, peas, lentils. I'm going to add milk and dairy because I know that there's a lot of us out there that do that. So I'm not going to expect everyone to eat like me. It's the most healthy way to eat. And if you can, I'm here to help you change your diet. A little bit of information on that mercury. I was kind of shocked at this when I heard it. I'm going to have to move my screen. Mercury. The FDA and Dr. Latouf states that eating large quantities, and that says large quantities, of fish can increase exposure to mercury. Mercury can be poisonous. The World Health Association states mercury in high doses can damage the nervous system. We can eat up to about 12 ounces a week. That's not a whole lot, and maybe it's about the size of the serving of the palm of your hand. There's two types of mercury. There's probably more, but at least the two that I'm aware of there's the methyl mercury. This is high levels in populations that rely on fish. So a lot of your areas that eat a high source of fish will have this methyl mercury in it. It's found in mackerel, the king mackerel, marlin, orange roughy, shark, swordfish, the ahi tuna, and big eye tuna. Lower levels, so we can eat this, but again, maybe 12 ounces a week or less. Salmon, sardines, flounder, cod, shrimp, oysters, and crab. Canned light tuna and canned white tuna has more than canned light tuna has a lot more than your canned white tuna. There's another type of mercury, the ethyl mercury. This is used in preservatives in some vaccines that we're seeing, and it poses no health threat. There are different types, and we need to keep these in mind. Let's talk about some fats to avoid. We were talking about fats earlier. We do need some fats, but these we want to avoid. They usually become solid at room temperature. There's your saturated fats and your trans fats. Let's talk about the saturated fats. Their sources of saturated are found, unfortunately, in most meats. High fat dairy foods like whole milk, whole butter, cheese, sour cream, ice cream. Tropical oils like your coconut oil, your palm oil, your cocoa oil, and lard that we tend to fry in, or things are fried in. Your trans fats, these are considered the worst type of fats that you can eat for your body, for your health, for nerves, and for raising cholesterol. These are you're going to find in your fast foods, your French fries, your donuts, your cookies, your cakes, your pastries, margarine, non-dairy coffee creamer, very high in trans fats, and our microwaved popcorn, the kind that it says put face down here. Some of the healthier fats, so we can eat them, we need them. Our brain needs them, our nerves need them, our bodies need them. Look for the monosaturated fats, mono's one, means one. So these are found the greatest sources in canola, olive, peanut, sunflower, and safflower oils. I try to avoid oil or even cooking with oil because it just coagulates in the blood cells. So I cook a lot with just vegetable broth. We don't even need oil. So vegetable broth or even water, you can cook your onions and a lot of things in just those two things. I eat avocados, some peanut butter, and most nuts are monosaturated. Again, with nuts, they can be fattening, so we want to eat about a handful a day. Polyunsaturated fats. These are found the greatest amounts in sunflower, corn, and soybean oil. Again, you can fry, you can cook with just vegetable broth or even water or any other kind of broth that you may have. Polyunsaturated fats are also found in fatty fish, which is your salmon, your tuna, sardines. There's that mackerel, but we want to be careful, and trout. These are all full of omega-3 fatty acids. We can also get those same omega-3 fatty acids from walnuts and some seeds. What are some other causes of damage and pain to our bodies? I'm going to share a little story after I say this. Lack of water. We need to drink at least 6 to 8 ounces of water a day. Why? First of all, our brains are about 75% water. Water also keeps our nerve cells communicating properly. It moisturizes them. We need to keep blood flowing to the brain, so we don't want our blood thick. So water helps with that. I had a member in my group, a young guy, was just starting with neuropathy. And I said, well, how much water are you drinking? And he said, very little. I said, you know what, do nothing else this next month. Try to eat healthy, but drink more water. He did. He came back and he says, Barbara, I can't believe it. He's not the only one, by the way. He said, Barbara, I can't believe it. My nerve pain has gone down. I'm drinking more water and staying away from sugar more. So our brain is about 65 or 60% fat, 25% cholesterol and other lipids. And that cholesterol is naturally manufactured in our body. So we really don't need to even add more cholesterol to it. Our nerves, we have over 100 billion neurons. We need to nourish them. We need to keep them healthy. Once we start not taking care of them, we're going to look like that tomato that started looking out really good, but then it oxidized, and then our cells slowly die. Stress, it's not a food, but I'll tell you, it's a life food. And stress can be so bad and increases nerve pain, so does lack of sleep. I know when I'm more stressed, my feet hurt so much more, burning. Exercise helps. We're going to talk about yoga this afternoon. So we have Julie, I believe, is going to be on. Exercise and stretching. Science shows that exercise is one of the best methods for fighting peripheral neuropathy and helps with nerves. It gets the blood flowing. It gets our lymphatic system moving and the toxins moving. So if you happen to be bedbound or in a wheelchair, or you can't get up and move, at least move your arms, then move your legs, move your hands, move your head. Do anything you can, because that lymphatic system only releases and moves toxins from our body when we're moving. It's a crazy thing, but that's the way it is. So keep moving as well. Here's the plan. Assume that this is us. We're a healthy cell. There we are, looking nice and healthy. What happens? What happened to this poor little plant? It didn't get sun, it didn't get water, and it didn't get the proper nutrients. Those are the things that our body needs as well. So what are some nutrients we can do to help with the neuropathy pain? And where do we get them? We need a proper mixture of carbs, fats, and proteins. We talked about what our brain and our body needs for that. The Institute of Medicine recommends we get 45 to 65% of our calories from carbs. I find this kind of boring, but a lot of people follow this. I just try to eat healthy. 10 to 35% from protein, 20% from fat. Healthy fats, healthy protein, all of the healthy carbs. And we know now, or we're learning, where we can get those. Food has beneficial nutrients that are not present in most supplements. Supplements can add dietary and fill in the gaps for certain nutrients, but we get most of our nutrients from food. It's important to eat a variety. We say eat the rainbow because just broccoli does not give you all the nutrients that, say, a beet would, or if you're a meat eater, that maybe your chicken would, or some of those things. So eat beneficial. One thing you can ask yourself when you're putting something up to your mouth, getting ready to eat, is this supporting and giving nutrients to my nerves? Is it supporting or hurting my neuropathy? Some vitamins that we need and where we get them. B1, thiamine. This provides our nerves with energy. It plays a key role in nerves, muscle, and heart function. Without it, our nerves lose the energy. So where is it found? It's found in the outer layers of germs of cereal. It's found in asparagus, oatmeal, nuts, whole grains. Now, people with celiac disease have to follow a little bit of a different diet. So that's a whole nother topic. So this is for the majority of us. Also, your fruits and vegetables, cauliflower, oranges, potatoes, even a white potato. Just don't put the sour cream and all of the butter and all of the things on top of it. Sweet potatoes are great, and even kale. B6 helps preserve nerve endings and discourages inflammation. Sources are chickpeas, your poultry, peanuts, wheat germ. There's your oats again. There's your bananas. There's spinach, sweet potatoes, green peas, avocados. Eat the rainbow. Keep in mind, too much B6 can also cause nerve damage. I had a very high level of B6 because I was really taking supplements. I got mine from supplements, not from the food. So they took me off of, and B6, like I said, will cause nerve damage. My doctor took me off of all kinds of B6 in my supplements. Anything that had B6, I couldn't take it. And a separate B6 definitely could not take. You can have all of this tested by your doctor and through your blood work. You may have to ask, but be sure and ask. B12, very, very important. Deficiency damages the myelin sheath. So we don't want to damage that covering, that outer coating of the nerves. Left untreated, it can cause permanent damage. B12s can also help regenerate some of the nerves. Not all of ours can be regenerated, but if you've only been deprived of deficiency for a short time, taking a supplement, you may regain some of your nerves, your feelings. B12, this is interesting, and I found it confusing at first, but I'm going to explain it. B12 can only be found in animal products. Now, I'm a whole food plant-based person, vegan, so it can be found in fish, meat, eggs, dairy products, milk. It's generally not present in plants. So we have to take a supplement that's fortified with B12. But wait a minute. Animals themselves do not have the ability to manufacture B12 any more than we do. Animals have to obtain their B12 when they ingest the bacteria directly or indirectly from the soil and the bacteria that they eat. They are also given fortified feed because they're not so much outside grazing and eating the dirt and pecking in the dirt. They also feed them animal sources. So that's the way they get their B12. And of course, we get our B12 from either eating them or taking a supplement or foods that are fortified. But we must have B12 is very, very important to us. So other foods to help support the nervous system. Vitamin C can repair and prevent nerve damage. So make sure your C levels are up. You can get these from mangoes, from watermelon, all kinds of berries, your strawberries, your blueberries, your raspberries, all kinds of fun things. Kiwi fruit, papaya, pineapple. Some of the vegetables are going to include your spinach, your broccoli, tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, squash. Vitamin D, this is another one. This is also important for dementia and Alzheimer's and memory and depression. So vitamin C helps to decrease pain and helps to promote nerve growth. We get that from sunlight. You can also get some from berries, pineapple, oranges, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, avocado, there's your fatty fish, eggs, and mushrooms, also from supplements. Vitamin E, being deficient in this, can damage nerves. Vitamin E helps to reduce pain, and it can also support nerve regeneration. We get that from spinach, broccoli, nuts, a handful of nuts, seeds. Again, here's your fruits and vegetables, bell peppers, avocado, spinach, and broccoli. A lot of good food. Again, the rainbow. Eat the rainbow. These are not the only supplements or vitamins that we need, but these are the main ones for our nervous system. Vitamin K is known to relieve idiopathic muscle cramps. So is water, so is magnesium. We'll get into that one. Sources of vitamin K is any of your leafy greens, your spinach, cauliflower, collard greens, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, avocados again, and kiwi. Cooked leafy greens have 5 to 10 times more vitamin K than raw greens. Also, it's good to take a vitamin D capsule because it will help with the absorption of your vitamin K. Magnesium is a mineral that helps to support muscles contracting. So if you're having muscle cramps, charley horses, things like that, you may want to check your water consumption and your magnesium. Those are just some of the things. It's a mineral that can help your muscles and helps your body fight off pain. In general, only foods containing dietary fiber provide magnesium. That's interesting. You only find fiber in fruits and vegetables. Sources: spinach, almonds, they're higher than spinach when it comes to magnesium. Cashews, peanuts, green vegetables, whole grain cereals, nuts and beans, and some fatty foods, fatty seafood. I want to thank Bev for introducing me to alpha-lipoic acid, lipoic acid. It's a vitamin and it's a chemical and known as a powerful antioxidant. Antioxidants help to fight off those free radicals that are destroying our cells. So it is a powerful antioxidant. It helps to neutralize the free radicals. And it can, it protects the body from these free radicals. It improves nerve function. It helps to protect against nerve damage, relieves nerve pain in the legs and arms. As we age, our production of ALA slows down. We are producing it in our body, but that production is slowed down. So we need to take a supplement. An ALA supplement is easy to find. Some of the sources that we can get from our alpha-lipoic acid from would be spinach, brewer's yeast, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and potatoes. Organ meat, which I hate, but organ meat such as liver and kidneys. Again, you can take a supplement. There's a couple of herbs and spices. There's many, many more. I just wanted to hit on a couple of them that will help to support the nervous system. There's that water too. Let's not forget that. One of the, what did I do? Turmeric. Turmeric contains a compound in it known as curcumin. That's a powerful anti-inflammatory. It's for neuropathy, the curcumin helps to relieve numbness, tingling, or pain in the hands and the feet. You need to add black powder if you're taking turmeric because it helps the turmeric to absorb much better. In fact, it's not going to absorb as well if you don't have black powder mixed with your turmeric. A cream is a capsaicin cream. It's an active compound that's found in different types of hot peppers. So you can eat some hot peppers if you like those, or you can apply the capsaicin cream and it can help to reduce the tingling and pain in the extremities. Water, again, up to 60 to 75% of our body is water. The brain and heart, 73% water. Our lungs, 83% water. Our skin, our muscles, and our kidneys, up to 79%. Even our bones have to have water. So add your water to your dinner and just carry some with you throughout the day. Just a quick summary, because looking out for our health, we're actually looking out for our nerves. And the proper nutrition and supplementation is critical and can make a huge difference in the quality of our lives. When we combine other lifestyle changes, yoga, meditation, good sleep habits, getting out in the sun, a healthy diet of lifestyle foods can help to relieve the pain. Partner with your doctor and just remember you're not alone in this. Eat the rainbow. Do we have time for the recipes, Daryl?
I think so.
All right. I'm going to just go over some of these and then we can have some questions. This is a great one and it's so simple. I cook simple. It's the only way I try to cook. So you just have your oats, oat flour, flax meal, cinnamon, a little bit of sea salt, a banana. Overripe is better, and actually overripe is sweeter and you get more nutrients. So when it starts to get those brown little spots, don't throw it away. That's the best time to eat it. Gets too ripe, use it for cooking. Brown rice syrup, add your raisins. You can add some chocolate chips if you want. And just bake it, pour it, make it into a batter, and put it in your pans with the, what do you call them, the little paper cups, and cook it for, what does it say here? I think it's about 20 minutes. Yeah, cook it for 20 minutes and just enjoy it. You can keep it at room temperature. You can store it, you can freeze it, and it's a great breakfast or snack. Herb crusted asparagus spears. See, to me, I think that looks pretty darn good. You just get a bunch of asparagus and hemp seeds or some other things, breadcrumbs, whatever you like. Some nutritional yeast is what I use. Ground pepper, paprika, there's your breadcrumbs, a little bit of lemon. Wash your asparagus, put the hemp seeds, everything in a bowl, mix it all up, arrange the spears side by side on a baking dish, and bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes. Don't even need to fry. Then add a little bit of lemon juice on it. It's delicious. This is fun. This is called smashed Brussels sprouts. You have people that don't like Brussels sprouts. You have family that doesn't like Brussels sprouts. These are fun. They're smashed, which I love that. So you get 2 pounds of Brussels sprouts. You get a little bit of olive oil because you want it to get crispy. And you can see the rest of the ingredients in there. And you take a cup and you just smash the Brussels sprouts. You arrange them out, lay them out in the baking dish. Excuse me, put a little bit of oil, sprinkle the rest of your ingredients on the top, and bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's delicious. Take my word for it. If you like them a little more crisp, you can put them in the upper rack and boil them for a couple of minutes. There's so many recipes. You think about all the vegetables and the fruits that's out there in the world. Think of what we can do with cooking with them. There's only so much we can do with the meat, in my opinion. Here's some books. I want to share them if I can, some books, CDs, and websites. I, again, strongly recommend the Western Neuropathy Association website and joining them. They also have Zoom meetings and telephone meetings. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine has a great website, talks about the classes. These are some that I can teach and have taught, and they have them on their website as well. There's a great CD for people with diabetes and any other heart disease. It's called Forks Over Knives. Forks meaning the forks we eat over knives, over surgery. There's YouTube. There's a 9-minute video. Has nothing to do with food and nutrition, but man, this guy is amazing. He's on YouTube and he's called Arthur's Transformation. Watch it, 9 minutes. Facebook has a Neuropathy Care Support Group. That's a group that I have. It's mostly education. There's webinars and Zoom meetings that I can help you with, or Bev. My email is right here, and I will do my best to answer any questions or help where I can. These are the references where I get a lot of things from. And I just want to thank everyone. I want to thank Bev and Daryl and Sonia and Julia, who's coming up next. And my name's Barbara Montgomery, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you, Barbara. That was really good and very comprehensive, and some fantastically delicious food possibilities there. So I think we're all looking forward to it.
Great.
So this time we'll try to take some questions and let you try to answer as much as you can.
Okay.
One of the things that Bev made sure that she posted so everyone knows is that the recipes will be in the newsletter. So you don't have to worry about going to the website necessarily, but it'll be on the recording besides, but you will see the recipes in the newsletter. I just have one question so far, and it says, are tomatoes an inflammatory food?
They can be, and so can nightshades. Any of those can be. I think it's going to be an individual thing. I do not tell people don't eat tomatoes, don't eat nightshades. However, some people cannot, and it can be inflammatory. So yes, I'd say be careful with it. I haven't found that I have to be. I'll tell you what bothers my nerves the most. And I try to stay away from it, but I'm not perfect. And I will consume too much pizza. I'm going to be honest. I love spaghetti, and I'm having a hard time getting used to the wheat spaghetti or the quinoa spaghetti or anything else like the white. And that turns to sugar, and the sugar damages or hurts our nerves. When I have stress, maybe I haven't had the water that I need to consume. Maybe I'm not exercising as much. Did I mention stress? If not, it needs to be mentioned even again. And if I'm eating anything that is sugar or turns to sugar, I lay down at night, and now my feet can hurt even without those things. But if I have those things, I can be on fire. Now there's other things that we can do to help with that, which we haven't touched on here. Like I said, today was just one portion of what we can do.
Okay, so I have a couple more. So the next one is for B6 supplement, how much is too much in milligrams?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm not going to answer it because I suggest you talk to your doctor, have your blood test taken. They can do that. And if they don't test, if you don't see that they have your vitamins listed there and your B12 and your B6 and your C-reactive protein or inflammation, excuse me, things like that down, you partner with your doctor and talk to them. You can get on some other sites which will tell you what tests that you should have.
Okay, so the next one is, can't see speaker's email. Please put in the chat and say it slowly.
Okay, I'm going to say it slowly first. It's up on my screen, but I'm not sure how technology works, or maybe you're on a speaker. It's LV, L is in Las, and V is in Vegas, so it's Las Vegas, but it's LV Neuropathy Group at gmail.com. Excuse me. So that's lvneuropathygroup@gmail.com.
Thank you. So let's see, there's another one that says, a diabetic educator said that rolled oats are high glycemic. So simple carbs.
Right. And that's true. You're going to have to watch. And if you're working with a dietitian, you're working with a doctor, you follow what they recommend. I also know that oatmeal, is so good for cholesterol. However, if you can't do it, not everybody can.
Okay. So next one says Facebook support group. There are many that promote keto diet for neuropathy. Not sure why. Goes against whole food plant-based way of eating.
Absolutely. And first of all, it's a fad diet. It's like the old Atkins diet, which is very high in fat and protein, meat type protein, low in carbs, low in good carbs. And if you just read what they're eating, bacon and fried this and fried that, and high carbs here, it's all cholesterol, very high cholesterol. I ate that diet before it was even a fad diet, before it was a keto diet, and my blood went up to 277. Now, what can it do? It's called keto for a reason, because of ketosis. You can lose weight on it. You can actually feel better on it. And I'm going to cough again. You best not stay on it for much longer than 3 weeks at a time, because it can send you into ketosis, which is bad for your kidneys. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that, but please look it up, and you can follow it, but for a short time.
Yeah. Next one is, what about farm-raised fish as compared to wild caught? Some books say that farm-raised are highly inflammatory. Also, one anti-inflammatory cookbook that I have uses a lot of coconut oil, and yet you say that it's not good for you. For us.
Okay. Let me answer the first question first. Farm-raised fish versus fresh cut. I want you to visualize a small child's swimming pool. I'm just coming up with this, so follow with me. Filled with water. And I want you to put like about 10 fish in it. 20 fish. They are packed. I mean, they are like little sardines trying to swim around. These fish are pooping. They are peeing. They are not healthy. And they are living in a confined area. Versus your wild caught, which is out in the ocean and the lakes and the waters. Now, our oceans, lakes, and waters are becoming more and more and more polluted, which is why Dr. Latove and a few others suggest that we just have small amounts of fish because of the mercury. Now, the other question, I can't remember.
That's about use of coconut oil.
Oh, coconut oil. Okay. Coconut oil by itself on occasion is not going to hurt you. It's not the best. Again, I cook when I'm frying something. I use vegetable broth. You can use, I guess, meat broth if you wanted to, or beef broth, whatever. There's other things you can cook with. You really only need a little bit of oil when you're wanting to brown something. And then I just use such a small amount. But your coconut oil, if you look at it and it sets out, it coagulates. It's very hard. And it can be thick. Again, it gets into your blood system and it makes your blood thicker. Any of the processed foods do, even processed oils. That's the simplest answer I can give.
No, that's good. So here's another one. I use oat brand other than oatmeal. Supposed to be better than regular rolled oats? Question mark.
I like, you know what? I agree. I like to eat steel cut oats. Now, it takes them longer to cook and they're about little grains, and it takes a little bit longer to cook. They are so good, kind of a nutty flavor. You can even soak your oats overnight so that you're ready to go the next morning. So they're already kind of cooked, and just put some or soft. I put fresh fruit. I put a handful of nuts. That's where I get my protein in the morning. What else do I put in there? Oh, I put flaxseed. I put, let's see, nuts, fruit, flax seeds. I've just started because I'm trying to eat more greens. I don't know if the rest of you have some trouble getting greens. I do. And so I started just getting a little bowl of greens, putting some fresh lemon juice on it and a little bit of seeds and some blueberries, and we'll just munch on that.
Okay,
So
the next one is I have a wicked sweet tooth. Are there any sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit that are acceptable?
That's a great question. You can use like some maple syrup. You can use agave. Now your sugars, you just have to be careful with, because sugar is sugar. Even too much in our fruits, there's sugar. However, it's fructose sugar, and it's a natural sugar. So our body has a tendency to know how to digest and use the nutrients in fresh fruit. You don't want to overdo it again. What else is, I would not use the stevia. Don't use any of those. Try to find some of your more natural, like I've just mentioned. Oh, you know what I do is, like in my oatmeal, is date nut paste. So easy to do. I get, or apricot paste, or whatever kind of paste you want. I just put the fruit in a little bit of water in my blender, blend the heck out of it, and it's nice and smooth, and I dump it in my food. There's also great desserts. I should have put one in here that you can make simple and just pop them in. Sweet tooth is my issue as well.
So question, quick oats versus old-fashioned oats.
Quick oats are not as nutritious. Again, they've been processed more. You'll still get some nutrients out of it, but it's best to just do the old-fashioned way.
Okay, then the next one is,
in a pinch, I'd rather you eat that than cereals.
where do you suggest we get our fats from?
I get mine from a handful of nuts. I get mine from avocados. Actually, a lot of your vegetables already have some natural fats in them. So I tend to say stay with your leafy greens, your vegetables, your nuts, your seeds, your legumes. They have a lot of protein. Avocados. And I think we mentioned a few others earlier.
Yeah. Okay, here's one that's, did you know that stevia stevia is a natural plant, and I've grown it in my own garden.
And that's okay. That's okay. Stevia is probably better, but the kind you get in the package, if it's been processed, not so good. If the kind you grow in your garden, that's great. Anything, I think, grown in the garden, you're looking at nature and natural, so go for it.
So the next one is, heard that gluten can damage nerves. Any truth to that?
Yeah, and it has mostly to do with people that have like a celiac disease, from what I understand. It doesn't bother me. People that have celiac disease have to watch their gluten, and yes, it can be damaging. That's a whole nother topic, a whole nother diet.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that we have. So I think we'll shut off the questions, and again, say thank you very much for an excellent presentation. We really appreciate all the information you shared with us, and hopefully it will help us, in our day-to-day battle with peripheral neuropathy. And thank you again.
Thank you, Joe. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Daryl, can I ask you a quick technical question? I wrote something in chat, but I don't know how to send it so it goes and shows up.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and tell us what you want to ask?
I was just, Bev said she was going to put the recipes in, but I really found it helpful. All the specific vegetables and things that the vitamin K had, the vitamin B's, you know, she listed berries, tomatoes, peppers, etc. If if Bev could maybe put the slides that she presented in the newsletter also.
Oh, yeah.
Would that be all right, Barbara?
Well,
Oh, I
we'll see
don't
what,
care. You all can use anything in my presentation you want.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So I'll let that up to Bev to follow up and give you an answer for, but I'm sure that she will share everything that she's possible to share with you.
I
And
know,
in any way you can get it.
but I
So I'm
still
not too
need to know
worried.
to how to send this.
Yeah,
I think Bev's listening, so she knows exactly what you're saying. So it'll be all right.
push enter. Just push
Yeah.
enter.
Enter.
Oh, my.
I had a question too that I was typing up. If you-
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, after 55 years of giving blood, I was informed by the head nurse at the donor center that I could no longer give blood because my blood was somehow clogging up their filters. And I'm just wondering, I'm wondering if she told me to come back in a year, try it after a year. And I'm working on my 20th gallon in 55 years, so I give regularly.
Drink
But
more
is there
water.
any foods? Are there any foods that might cause that? I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to my doctor yet.
No, I would follow up with my doctor. I really would, because that's sort of odd kind of a comment.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. All right.
Bev, do you have something to add to that?
Well, you were telling about water, drinking water.
Right, there you
Oh,
go.
that,
Might be that you need to drink more water.
yeah.
Drink and eat more vegetables and fruits that are moist, but water.
Because I go for blood tests once a month, and if I don't remember to drink the water, sometimes it's a little hard.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yes.
Okay, Barbara, would you stop sharing your screen and we'll get back to the whole group? There we go. Okay, so thank you again. That was excellent. We really appreciate it. So I think what we're going to do now is we'll be going on to the second hour. And so again, I would like to introduce Catherine Stencil, who will then follow up and introduce you to Julie and get going on the yoga. At the end of the presentation, Lindsay will set up a way for you to actually complete the evaluation. You'll be able to do it online, or you will be able to get it by email. So that'll happen at the end of this presentation. So Catherine, are you there? And I'll leave this all up to you.
I am here.
Okay, it's all
Awesome.
yours.
Thank you so much, Daryl. So I'm going to ask everybody, as you're coming back into this second hour, to turn on your cameras. You don't really have to turn on your microphones, but turn on your cameras since we're doing social hour. And this way, everybody can watch everybody do yoga. So I want to welcome you to the second hour of our program today and our last session of the conference. And Friday's sessions, as Daryl already said, we're having those to show how we can help ourselves naturally live better with our neuropathy. First with Barbara's presentation on nutrition, and second with Julie's on yoga. And Julie, I'm gonna just say you're on mute. If you want to, yeah. I'm still not gonna introduce you yet, but there you go. Okay, so now since we're all on Zoom again, so you've got two ways that you can watch the class. If you're like me right now, I have everybody all in your little bitty boxes. And that's fine. And then you get to watch everybody as long as everybody starts turning their video on. So everybody keep on turning your video on.
Tell people how to do that.
Turn your video on by going down on the bottom of your screen, and there will be a little camera symbol. It's probably got a little red slash through it.
Over the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side. and click on that, and then your video should come back on. There you go. That's good. Very good, very good. So if everybody, you can view it two different ways. There's gallery view and speaker view. Speaker view would put, right now, you would have me in the center of your screen, taking up all of your screen, because I'm the one speaking. And you can change that by going up to the upper right-hand corner on your screen where it says view. And you can change from speaker, from gallery to speaker, or speaker to gallery. Kind of suggest, if you want to be able to really follow Julie along, to go put it in speaker view. And when you do that, look, right now I've got Bev, and because she was the last person that talked for me. But otherwise, some of you might have me up there. Or you can keep it in gallery view and you'll just have all the little bitty boxes. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I did that. So we are still having door prizes. And I think I'm going to start with the door prize now, and then we'll do the other two door prizes at the end, because there's not going to be any place in the middle that we can comfortably stop. So remember, for door prizes, we're giving away a book and a DVD. The book is Chicken Soup for the Soul, Inspiration for Teachers, that has a story in there by our president, Bev Anderson. And then the DVD is, oh, I don't have it on my piece of paper, my journey through chronic neuropathy, Mr. Richardson's story of his chronic neuropathy in his life. So we have both of those things. What we're looking for is somebody that has a birthday around January 1st. January 1st, and if you have it, you're gonna have to speak up so we can hear who it is, or raise your hand. So by January 1st, it doesn't have to be on January 1st. It could be like in December or through the month of January.
I do.
Are we going to check IDs or are we going to make it up?
Okay,
Catherine, this is Brian.
I'm checking your ID.
Catherine, my birthday is on the 30th of December.
Oh man, that is close. Shirley, when's your birthday?
January 12th. He beats me.
Oh, okay. Well, Brian, I think you did very good on that one. So we will let you have our first door prize. That's pretty good.
Right on.
Yes, that was very close. All right. So we will do the other two door prizes at the end of our yoga session. Okay, so your yoga instructor is Julie Falagant. She is a certified accessible yoga teacher and accessible yoga ambassador. As you watch her teach today, you'll see how she strategically weaves together a variety of postures that are designed for gaining strength, improving our mobility, and making our everyday life easier. Julie is also a member of the Houston Support Group, and she starts each of our Zoom meetings with a little mini yoga class. So we are very happy to have her do that. Oh, and so it's not gentle yoga, not that it's hard yoga, but I know that we keep on saying that the name of the class is gentle yoga. Actually, what it is chair yoga. So most of the class is going to be done in a chair, although Julie is going to show, I think there's one series of poses, how they would be done standing up. Okay, Julie, take it away.
Right, welcome. Thank you all for sticking around for the last hour of the conference this week. And I personally can't think of a better way to end a week of learning with a balancing yoga practice. So today's mostly seated yoga class is an introduction to some of the tools of yoga that help to bring balance to physical movement, to our nervous systems, and to our minds. So the class will begin with just some introduction and some information about yoga and how the class will flow. And then we'll move into the physical practice, including warm-ups, strengthening, and postures. And we'll conclude with some subtler practices of breathing and meditation. So I ask that you have a sturdy chair, preferably one without wheels and without arms, and space around you to move your arms and legs, so forward and to the sides, preferably. So in today's practice, if you find that some of your symptoms of neuropathy become more sensitive instead of less sensitive, I ask you just to back off, rejoin as you can, customize your practice to your situation, to your physical situation, any injuries that you have, and know that a tool you can always use is visualization. So if there's something, a posture not available to you or a move, try visualizing yourself in that movement or posture in your mind, engage the muscles there, and then breathe into it. So yoga utilizes breath to engage our minds. It's tricky that way. So as we go through today's practice, I will lead you into when to breathe and how to breathe through it. And the general rule is, as when you inhale, your torso expands and lengthens. Any move that expands and lengthens your body will be paired with an inhale. And then conversely, on an exhale, our bodies contract. And so any movement to like folding, bending, and rotating your spine will be paired with an exhale. But in general, find what works for you. Just allow your breath to flow. Know if you're holding your breath, that may mean that you're pushing a little too hard. And I want you to go to a point of challenge, but not strain. I don't want any pain caused here in your yoga practice. And just move your breath at your own pace. The other key is, if you can, breathe through your nose. So breath that moves through your nose as opposed to your mouth is filtered. It supports your immune system. With a nose breath, you tend to bring in more oxygen, which means more oxygen for your cells and more oxygen to nourish your nerves. And it also tends to be more calming than a mouth breath, and because part of the time it's just slower than a mouth breath. So give that a try if you can. And then I will mirror you. I will be like a mirror to you in today's practice, which means that when I ask you to move your right hand, I will be moving my left. And what that means for me is sometimes I say the wrong side. So I ask you to follow what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll realize what I've said and I'll correct it. Thank you for your understanding with that. All right, so today we'll start by setting up our posture. And that is in the first pose and posture for today. So if possible, move your bottom to the front of your chair, and a place where your feet and legs can be grounded into the floor. You can press your legs into the floor. In general, your hips and your knees are on the same level. And if they're not, if your hips are higher, think of putting something under your feet to bring up your knees. And on the other side, if your hips are lower, you can lift your seat by sitting on something. It just adds comfort to the posture. And then bring your legs, have some space between your legs there. And then find a gentle press of your legs into the floor. Just notice how that feels for you. And also get a sense of these two bones, your pelvic bones of your pelvis below you into your chair. These I'll call your sitting bones. You want to be on the center of your sitting bones. And then from there, begin to engage your lower belly, but allow a soft abdomen for breath. Imagine that there's a string pulling the crown of your head up towards the sky to lengthen, create space in between each vertebrae. And then think of your shoulders broadening, your chest slightly lifting. And here is your first posture called mountain pose. So like a tall, majestic mountain, your spine is lengthened. You're utilizing all the muscles of the torso that help promote good posture. Your spine is in alignment. And these are just some of the benefits of your mountain pose. So just breathe into this and know that if today during other postures and movements, if you want to take a break, mountain pose is a place, kind of your center, a place to reset. So you can come back here, and if at any time it becomes a little too tiring for your back to be off the chair, feel free to walk back. Just come back. Try to maintain as tall of a spine as you can but allow your back to rest on the chair. Okay, and now to invite our minds into the practice today, now that we've set up our physical bodies. So to do that, just have your hands rest on your lap, find a soft gaze or close your eyes. And then just begin to tune into your body. Notice physical sensation there without trying to change it. And just let it be. And then begin to feel into your breath, your natural flow of breath, the waves of your inhale and of your exhale, without trying to alter the pattern. And then begin to open your eyes if they're closed. Start with some warm-ups now. So in our warm-ups, we heat our bodies. We kind of lubricate our joint capsules with synovial fluid. The fascia between each tissue also gets expanded, stretched. And then we also begin to allow our mind to engage into the practice by following our breath. So in your mountain pose, with your chin parallel to the floor, just begin to turn your chin from shoulder to shoulder. Explore range of motion in your neck, in your cervical spine, and see if you can soften any tension that you might feel there. And then bring your chin forward. With your hands, your palms on your thighs, begin to lift your breastbone up. Find a slight arch in your middle back. Send your gaze up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, and glide your hands back towards your hips as your elbows go behind you, coming into a seated cow. On an exhale, keep your chest lifted, allow your hands to glide towards your knees. Come back to your neutral spine and send your chin towards your chest, coming into a cat posture. So flexion and extension of your spine. So try it again on your inhale. Begin to glide your hands back towards your hips. Lift your chest, arch your back, send your gaze upward. Extend. On your exhale, back to your neutral spine, hands come forward, gaze down into your cat back. And then on your inhale, bring your hands back into the middle of your thighs. So just spinal flexion and extension. So in these warm-ups, one of the main areas we work is in the spine. So our spines are involved in many of our functional movements from day to day, reaching, twisting to the side to get something behind you, to look behind you. So not only does our spine support our physical body, but it also supports our nervous system with the nerves going down the spine. And this next warm-up is a spinal twist. And when we rotate, we nourish or we activate the muscles in the spine. So let's give it a try. So glide your left hand towards your knee, allow your left shoulder to come forward as your right hand and right shoulder move behind you. So you're rotating all the way to the right. So if you have any disc issues, I'd be really careful here. On an exhale, change sides. So glide your right hand and right shoulder forward, left hand and left shoulder back, rotating to the left side. And then try that a couple more times on each side. On your exhale, begin to rotate to the side, this time to the right. Take a breath. Exhale, rotate to the left as your hands glide forward and back. And then one more time, exhale as you rotate to your right side. Breathe in your twist and exhale, rotate to your left side. And on your exhale, bring your hands forward onto your lap. So bring your right hand onto the side of your chair. And your left hand, just allow it to go to the side of your left hand to the side of your chair. Palm forward, thumb up. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, begin to float your left arm out to the side and overhead. Reach over to the right side with your left fingertips. On your inhale, bring your shoulders and head back to the middle, let your hand float all the way down to the side, into and out of a side bend. So try it again a couple more times on that side. Inhale, find length in your spine, and exhale, lift your arm and find a lateral bend to the right side. Inhale, come back to the center point, release your hand down. And one more time, exhale as you lift your arm all the way up, creating space in your left side, and inhale as you come back to the center. All right, now try the other side. So notice how one side might feel a little different than the other. Place your left hand on the side of your chair, right palm and hand out down to the side. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, begin to sweep your arm all the way up and over as if you're painting a rainbow to the side and overhead. On your inhale, float your arm down to the side. And a couple more times, exhale your arm all the way up and over. Reach out through your fingertips. See if you can keep both hips on the seat evenly. And then one more time, exhale as you rainbow your arm overhead. Very nice, y'all. And exhale, inhale back to the center. Okay. So these next are hip circles. So to lubricate the place where your thigh bone comes into your hip socket. So press down into your left leg. Begin to lift your right foot off the floor. You can take your hands around your right thigh and just begin to make circles with your knee. Just notice how it feels, and then change direction. Can be big circles or small circles, it doesn't matter. And then place your foot back down onto the floor. Compare the sides, press into your right foot, then lift the left. And again, begin to make your circles. Bring mobility into your joint and then change direction. And then place your foot down to the side. So with your hands on your thighs or your hands on the side of your chair, begin to engage here in your lower abdominals to support your back. This is a strengthening exercise and a stretching exercise called the leg extensions. So press into your left leg. Begin to extend your right heel forward. If you can, reach your right heel off the ground. Begin to lengthen out your right leg. And then on your inhale, place your foot back down to the floor. Try that a couple more times using your right leg. So inhale, lengthen your spine, engage your lower abdominals, and exhale, extend your foot forward, lift it off the floor if you can. And exhale or inhale, lower back down. And then one more time. On your exhale, extend your foot forward. Reach it out and feel the space created in the back of your knee and the stretch in the back of your leg, and place your foot down. All right, then move to the other side. So press down into your right leg, engage your lower abdominals. On your exhale, begin to reach your left heel forward, press it forward. Sense the stretch in your leg, and inhale, place your foot back down onto the floor. A couple more times. Exhale, extend your heel forward, bring your toes back towards your face, and then inhale, place it down. And then one more time. Extend your leg forward, reach, and then inhale, place your foot down. Great. So in seated yoga, we have to get creative on how to bring strength into the practice. So that's one of the ways. And you'll see some others here. It had the strengthening is more intentional in a seated posture than in standing. Obviously, we're strengthening our legs as we stand, and in seated, it's in our minds to remember to bring that strength into the movement. So bring your heels back towards your chair just a little bit. Hands can be on the sides of your chair. This next posture, and actually this is the beginning of 7 postures. The physical practice. So as I mentioned before, I will guide movement with breath. I will let you know the benefits of the postures as well. And again, follow your own pace and follow your own breath as you go. So this is called as if standing. The idea is to utilize the muscles that are involved in coming from seated to standing without actually lifting off the chair. So the hands are on the side of your chair for support if you like. So on your inhale, engage your muscles in your lower abdominals, lengthen your spine. On your exhale, hinge forward here at your hip crease, press into your feet, engage all those muscles to stand. And then on your inhale, sit all the way back up, shoulders back over your hips. And try that again a couple more times. So inhale, lengthen your spine, engage the muscles, your abdominals. Exhale, shift forward, strong feet. And then inhale, shoulders back over your hips. And then one more time. On your exhale, hinge forward, long spine, press into your feet. And then inhale, come all the way back to seated. Woo, that's a lot of leg work, back to back. Hope you're feeling okay. It's nice to see your faces out there. This next posture is warrior. And in this one, I will, you have a choice of standing, doing it standing or seated. So if you would like to do it standing, I definitely ask that you have that sturdy chair or a wall to be beside. I'll stand by my chair for that piece. I'll first guide the seated group into the leg portion of the posture, and then we'll move to the standing, and then everyone can move into the posture together. So begin to step your right leg out to the side, and as much as you can, or so out to the side, if possible, you can straddle your chair. So your knees are right over your heels, toes and knees are moving in the same direction, and press through your feet. So that's the foundation for your seated warrior. And so those who would like to stand, think of that as if standing, and use those muscles and actually lift yourself up. And then move to the right side of your chair. Step back about an arm's length from your chair, and stand with your feet separated about internal hip distance apart. And then turn your right toes to point just in about a 30-degree angle to the side. Shift weight there, and then begin to take a comfortable step forward with your right leg, holding on to the chair with your left hand. So step forward with your left leg, sorry. And then bend into your leg. Your leg that is closest to the chair steps forward. There you go. And your knee bends. And then whether you're standing or seated, press into your feet. And if you're standing, really press into your back heel. So it's your right heel. And then turn your shoulders to frame your knee, your right knee, the left knee, sorry, there we go again. Okay. And then on an inhale, begin to float your right arm up and overhead. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky and send your gaze up slightly into your warrior. So in this posture, you're strengthening your legs, lifting up your spine, creating space for breath. And on an exhale, begin to bend into your right elbow, bring your palm towards the front, and then draw your upper arm towards your rib cage and engage, the muscles in your back. And breathe. I think that's hard to see, huh? You're just drawing your elbow in, engaging the muscle in your back. And then on an inhale, bring your arm back overhead. And exhale, float your hand all the way back down. And if you're standing, begin to shift your weight into your left leg, step forward with your right foot. And then make your way to the other side. So if you're seated, just draw your right leg in back to the center. And then open your left leg out to the side. Again, straddling your chair to set up your foundation for warrior. So the standers are standing on the left side of the chair, right hand on the chair. Angle your left toes out slightly. And then begin to step a comfortable step forward with your right leg and bend into your knee. So your right leg is right next to the chair. Your right hand rests on the chair. So press through your feet. Notice and press through your legs, whether you're seated or standing. Send your shoulders to frame your front leg, which would be your right. And then on an inhale, begin to draw your left arm up and overhead. Exhale, soften your shoulders and breathe. And then on an exhale, begin to bend into your left elbow as you begin to hug your upper arm in towards your lower ribs, kind of feeling a strengthening and engagement in your back muscles. Yeah, like that. Very good. And then release, inhale your arm back all the way up. And then exhale, float your arm back down into the center. If you're standing, begin to shift into your front foot and step forward. If you're seated, draw your left leg back to the center. And let's meet in our seated mountain pose. And just notice how that felt in your body. So the warriors that is a strong posture for strengthening all throughout your legs. If you were standing, you're also lengthening and your hip flexors, which can feel really nice after the flexion from a seat. So I like to try that one when I can. All right. Okay, so our next posture, step out wide, just a comfortable stance. Your shoulders are towards the front. And then bring your fingertips together, lift your elbows out to the side. So I'll show you what this looks like. Yeah, just pressing through your fingertips. Soften your shoulders and press your fingertips together, engage the muscles in your chest. And breathe here as you strengthen your fingers, your hands, your wrists, your arms, and your chest. And then on an exhale, release the engagement and actually bring your palms together, reach your elbows out to the side. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and on your exhale, use your abdominal muscles to spiral all the way to your right side. So turn your belly, your ribs, and your shoulders towards the right. Take a breath here. Exhale, move back through the center and all the way to the left side. And take another breath here in your goddess twist. And exhale, shoulders back to the front, and then release your hands down. So in goddess posture, the return of the blood from the legs to the heart, this posture encourages that. The muscles here that you engage in this exercise where you bring your fingertips together encourages lymph fluid in your chest, the pumping of lymph fluid, including and also the strengthening that I mentioned. So walk your feet back to your mountain pose, so hip distance apart. And then step your right foot forward, actually, just about 1 foot forward or 6 inches. And then, so our toe flexors, the strength of our toe flexors correlate with the strength of our balance and our propensity to fall. So stronger toe flexors mean less propensity to fall. So it's a reverse. We want to have strength there in our toes to keep from falling and to maintain good balance. So this is one exercise you could try in order to work on that strength. So your left foot stays grounded. Begin to lift just your toes of your right foot up. So lift your toes up and hold your toes up so the ball of your foot and your heel are grounded. They're in the floor. And breathe. And then now begin to lift the ball of your foot, leaving your heel only on your right foot on the floor. So press through your heel, lift your foot. So you went from strengthening just your toe flexor to adding in strengthening of your shins and your ankles, which also help with walking and standing and balance. And then begin to just release, actually keep your foot flexed and glide your right heel forward, lengthening your leg. You can keep a slight bend in your knee. So I needed to adjust my seat a little forward in the chair. So this posture is called head to knee pose. So it is a posture that lengthens or stretches the back of your lengthened leg, and also helps relieve tension and helps with pain. So and give it a try. I think probably a lot of you are familiar with this particular stretch. So inhale, engage your torso, lengthen your spine, keep your chin slightly tucked, and on your exhale, hinge at the hips, drawing your belly towards your thighs. And then take a breath or two here, sensing into the sensation of the stretch in your right leg. And then on an inhale, begin to press into your left foot, bring your shoulders and head back over your hips. All right. And then draw your right foot back under the bend of your knee. And now to change sides. So just step your foot forward, just several inches, your left foot. Now for your toe flexor stretch. So begin to lift your left toes only off. So the ball and heel of your left foot are grounded, they're on the floor. And then begin to press into your heel, lift the ball of your foot. So a deep flexion of your ankle there. And breathe. So moving from your toe flexor to your ankle and shin. And then begin to extend your left heel forward, keeping a soft bend in your knee and a strong flex in your foot, toes back towards your face. So inhale, engage through your torso. On your exhale, hinge from your hip, belly towards thighs, pause, and breathe. So not only are you benefiting from the stretch and lengthening in the back of your leg, there's also work going in your torso to help you maintain this posture. And then on an inhale, press into your right foot, step your left foot down. Our next posture is a balance posture. It's a tree pose. So in tree, we get a little creative to add the element of balance into a seat. So we'll start by open your right leg out to the side, and then draw your heel, come onto the ball of your right foot, place your heel on the front right leg of the chair. So there's one element of balance. Press through your left leg and the ball of your right foot. This is your tree trunk. So imagine your feet and your seat are rooting into the ground, just a nice sturdy tree. And then as you inhale, lengthen your spine. Shoulders are towards the front of your chair. And then exhale, root down. And then if you'd like to grow some branches, begin to extend your arms up in any way you'd like. Find a position that is supportive for your body with your arms overhead. And then imagine that there's a breeze outside. And then begin to shift your weight from your hips from side to side. Allow your arms to follow. Oh, nice. I see many beautiful trees out there, many varieties, and a nice soft breeze for all of us. I love it. All right. And then place your hips back evenly on the chair. So come back to stillness. And then exhale, float your hands down to your side. Bring your right foot back forward and back underneath the bend of your knee into your mountain pose. And just take in that experience. Your legs get strengthened, your hip opens out to the side. There's a benefit of focus. So if you can find a steady gaze, and it can be also a way to feel connectedness to the earth. Okay, so let's try the other side. So begin to step your left foot out to the side. And I'm gonna face you. So step your left foot out to the side. Begin to draw your left heel up onto the left side of the chair. Right foot, right leg stays grounded. Left ball of the foot stays grounded. And then again, envision the roots growing out of your feet and out of your seat, rooting you to the floor. So as you inhale, begin to engage your lower belly, lengthen your spine, extend your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, just release your shoulders away from your ears. And then visualize the breeze. And shift your hips from side to side. And I encourage you just to notice what muscles engage. in your torso to support this balance. And steady your gaze. Very nice. And then come back to the center. Hips even on the floor. As you exhale, float your hands down. Draw your left foot forward, back into your mountain pose. Okay, so now is moving on to the more subtler, the subtler practices of yoga, of breathing and meditation. So to start with breath, we can consider our breath like a power switch to our autonomic nervous system. So if you picture your lungs and the blanket of nerves over them, the nerves that support our stress response are up here in the top of our lungs, in our chest area, upper chest. And those that support our calming response, our parasympathetic system, are located on the lower parts of our lungs. So when we're in pain, what happens often is that we start to breathe in a shallow way. Our body is stressed, so that those short, shallow breaths exacerbate the problem by stimulating that stress response again and again. So one way to, a natural way for us to try to balance out our nervous system is to use what we call a diaphragmatic breath. It's a breath that draws the air all the way deep into your lungs. It exercises the diaphragm. And what happens is, with the deep breath, your diaphragm contracts and presses your abdominal contents down, which is why your belly expands. So those are your abdominal contents coming down and forward. And with that comes increased circulation, more oxygen for your cells and your nerves, and a calming response in our nervous system. So let's give it a try. So begin by placing one hand on your belly, or two, have them at your lower belly, kind of the lower abdominals again. And join me, we'll take just a handful of breaths here with the breathing in that diaphragmatic fashion. So exhale out all your air, let it all out. And as you breathe in again, breathe in through your nose if you can, draw the air in all the way down into your lungs, feel your belly balloon underneath your hands. And as you exhale, just let the breath go. No effort. Again, inhale, fill your air with lungs, feel your belly expand beneath your hands. And as you exhale, just release it, empty it. On your next inhale, draw the air in, feel the expansion beneath your hands. And as you exhale, just notice the release and pressure there. And a couple more times, breathing in to feel your belly expand and soften. And then exhale, release. And one more time. Breathe in. Feel the ballooning. And then exhale, release it all out. And then bring your hands onto your lap. Just take a moment to feel the effects of that calming breath. A breath that helps to balance our nervous systems, that can help us with pain. Studies show that it has those therapeutic benefits. So I invite you to give it a try and spend some time with it when you get a chance, if you're interested. Okay, so begin to walk your hips back to find the back of your back onto the chair. So releasing the hold, this holding of your torso, allow your back to settle behind you in the chair if that's comfortable. This final posture is called corpse pose. So if you would like to lay on the floor, I invite you to try that also, if you'd like, but I will stay seated here. And just allow your the release of effort from your legs, from your arms. Hands can rest just gently on your lap. So corpse pose, as the name kind of insinuates, is is a pose of stillness. It's a posture of stillness. It is one that allows all of the systems in our bodies to come into balance. That's what the yogis believe. And it's a perfect posture for breathing exercises and also for meditation. It's time to just let go. In yoga, we say that the undoing is just as important as the doing. So I invite you now to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Release your body weight into the chair, into the floor. Allow your exhale to allow that softening. And then become aware of sensation. Sensation in your body. Greet it with kindness. And then let it be. Now become aware of your breath. The waves of breath as they move through your body. Greet your breath with kindness and let it be. And then become aware of your thinking mind, the tendencies of your thinking mind. And then greet it with kindness and let it be. And for a moment, I invite you to simply be, to rest in simply being. And then begin to move your fingers and move your toes. And circle your ankles, circle your wrists. Bring some energy into your body. And to open your eyes or keep that soft gaze. Just take a moment to notice sensation again. Just the same as you did when you started your practice today. Has anything shifted there for you? And if not, that's okay. Just let that be. And then with your breath, do you notice any difference in the pattern of your breath, the qualities there? And it's okay if you don't. It's just a moment of mindfulness to notice. And then into your mind, into your nervous system. What is it you notice for your thoughts? And then just let that be. And open your eyes. And this concludes our practice. If there's an element of the practice today that resonated with you, I invite you to go back and revisit it. We moved through things pretty quickly today, and spending time might give you just a new idea of it, or you might discover something about yourself. And that's really, really what yoga is about, learning about ourselves. So close with peace. Om Shanti. Peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Awesome. That was very good.
Thank you.
I enjoy doing yoga so much. It really settles my body for sure. Okay, so now I know what everybody's been waiting for, the last 2 door prizes.
That's right.
What date is she going to pick next? Okay, so I'm going to pick July 4th because I started off with the dates of certain states that came into the Union, but there's nothing more important than the date, July 4th, when we declared our independence from, that country way over there. So who has a birthday close to July 4th? Because I'm actually going to take two of them. Laura, so you're muted. So if you want to talk, can you unmute yourself?
June 30th. My birthday is June 30th.
June 30th. Oh, well, that's pretty close to July 4th. Anybody else that has got anything closer? And by the way, remember, I'm looking for two. So do we have somebody else whose birthday is close to July 40th? Because I think Laura's got it at June 30th. Anybody else earlier in June, later in July? Am I going to have to go back other months? Let's see. I've done June and July. So now that means May and August. August. Who's got a birthday in August?
August is a state we haven't used yet.
Did I already do that one?
No, we haven't done August before. So.
Okay, so August. So Daryl, was that you raising your hand for August? No.
No.
Okay, good. Julie, was that you raising your hand? No.
No.
Who was raising their hand for August? Nobody?
Yes.
Yes, Bill. It was you raising your hand for August.
August 23rd.
August 23rd. That's it.
Oh.
Bill. Okay, so we've got Laura and Bill. And I know how to contact Bill to get his mailing address.
Yep.
And Laura, are you a member?
No.
No. Well, that means that you're just going to have to call up Bev now and give her your mailing address.
Please.
Oh, okay. How do I? Who is Bev? How do I?
So Bev is she's got the black T-shirt on. Looks like she's outside in her yard, and
Okay.
she's the president of the Neuropathy Association.
Okay.
And so her phone number is
Yes.
877
Yes.
622
Yes.
6298.
Okay.
And be sure you call. It would be, there was, this was a different bill. So be sure you call today if you can.
Yes. Yes.
Because yesterday I had two people supposed to call me that didn't. So now I have to search.
oh.
I certainly will. And what is it Pacific time or what?
It is Pacific time.
Pacific time. Okay, because I'm in Eastern time. Okay, Pacific.
Okay, I'm in California.
California. Okay. I will.
And you're in Houston, and she doesn't have your information?
No, she's not in Houston.
Eastern time.
What?
I'm in Eastern time.
Oh, you're Eastern time. Where are you?
Yeah, New York City.
Ah, awesome.
You got the message from CJ, or how did you find out?
CJ's group. Yes, CJ.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Well, we're so glad you found us and came today.
I'm so happy too. Yay.
Well, you're welcome. We have people, if you want to, I'll talk to you when you call me. But,
okay.
Yes, we have, Laura, do you have, you're Laura, but Catherine, you have the address, the information about both bills, right?
Yes. Bill, you can, since you've already emailed me today once, email me again and let me know what your mailing address is, okay?
Oh, the prize is $1 million. Is that right?
We'll never know.
No? All right.
No.
Yes.
No.
I will email you my address.
Thank you, sir. And Brian, do I have yours? I don't know. You're going to email me too, right? Email me also.
Yes, I'll email you.
Thank you. I think I've already got it somewhere, but Do it again.
I'll
Okay.
email it. Yep.
Okay, so I think for me, that is the close of my facilitation of the yoga session. And it was great watching everybody do that. And thank you again, Julie, for doing that. It's very good.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Julie,
Julie.
you were great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You
I
put
knew you'd get that from Don. Yay, Don, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Julie, and thank you, Catherine. That was excellent. And we all had a really good time, I think. So at this point in the conference, I would like to ask Bev to say a few things.
Okay. I would like to thank everybody that attended, whether you attended one day or all the days. Some people couldn't be here today, I know, and some people couldn't be there other days. So for everybody that attended, I want to give you good thanks. But I want to make sure that you introduce Lindsay Camport Jones. Lindsay, are you there? Can you pop out so we can see you? There you are, right in front of me. And wave to everybody. This is Lindsay, and she's the one that's keeping everything going smoothly behind the scenes. She's the one that does all of the technology, set up the meetings, sent out all of the links, and did all the work behind the scenes that kept us going. So let's give Lindsay a hand.
Thank you. Thanks. You guys
And then I
are
want to
so easy to work with. I didn't have to do anything.
What?
You guys are so easy.
Are
So
you
easy.
actually in your office?
Mm-hmm.
At the office?
Yep, I'm in the office today.
Okay, because I looked and I thought, hey, you might be there. Does the phone work? I can call you.
Yeah, it's working.
You won't be here there long, but anyway. I also want to thank Daryl for our Daryl O'Sullivan from our board. He's actually our treasurer, so he keeps us on track as far as financial situations. Our board meetings, he tells us what's going on. But he also did such a great job on the MC part of it. He's a pro at that. So I want to thank Daryl for all that good work that he did in front of the scenes. He kept the things going in the front of the scenes going well. So let's give him a hand. If you're unmuted, we can hear you. But it's been very good to have him there. And I know, I see Catherine has been I've been right-hand person yesterday she bailed me out of forgetting off the dates I was going to use. Remembered a couple of them, but not all of them. So she did that, and Sonia was here today to introduce people. So I don't see any other board. Our board has been here. All of the board. Karen had an emergency and she couldn't be here that much, but she tried to check in. Pam is in Texas and she was working these days and she had the meetings going on so she could hear while she was working. So all of our board has been involved. I think I'm leaving out some, but anyway, we were all here behind the scenes or in front of the scenes somehow. So we call ourselves a working board, and I want to make sure that you know we are. That's what we do. And I'll turn it back to Daryl for the.
Okay, thank you, Bev. Appreciate it very much. And thank you for all of your leadership and your inspiration. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yay.
Also, thank you, Sonia, for for introducing Barbara today and handling all that. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Okay, Lindsay, can you one more time about the evaluation?
Sure. So I just dropped it into the chat. So if you're still on, you can pull up the chat and you'll see the link there. And that'll just take you to a web page to complete the survey. If for anybody that's already off the call, I'll email it out also to everybody that attended the first 2 days, in addition to everybody that's here today. So everyone will get a chance to submit it. And it'll be open for 1 week. So I have it closing next Friday.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. So last few things I want to mention is that first off, I want to thank all the presenters. They did a fantastic job. All of the people who did the group discussions did a great job. I think we all enjoyed this conference, maybe even more than we do when it was in person. It was really excellent. And I was really proud of us for being able to put this all together virtually and actually have a very positive conference. So that was really good. Again, I want to remind you that this is Neuropathy Awareness Week, and that's partly why we chose these particular dates. So I encourage you to be active and talk to people about the disease you have, a peripheral neuropathy system, and what you experience with it. Western Neuropathy has and will continue to work to support those suffering from peripheral neuropathy and to gain and share information on understanding and managing this painful and debilitating complex of diseases. And if you're not a member of the Western Neuropathy Association, I encourage you to think about it and join. You get a nice, really fantastic newsletter. You can get it by email and or by US mail. Then one of the things I wanted to mention that's a little off the subject relative to the conference, but relative to us and our age group particularly, is that yesterday the CDC stated that fully vaccinated people do not need to wear masks or practice social distancing indoors or outdoors, except under certain circumstances such as healthcare settings and in public transportation or in areas where the government requires masks. The CDC also said people will still need to follow workplace and businesses and mask guidances. However, please remember at our age and at all of our conditions, and oftentimes we have many of them, remember that underlying conditions have a big impact on, sorry about that, I don't know what happened. Anyway, please remember to take good care of yourself and practice good social distancing when necessary, and you know really how to do that. So I just want to encourage you that. And if you haven't gotten your vaccine, please do, because it puts you into a great category where you don't have to worry about masks. And that's fantastic. So without any further ado, I think we'll close the conference and say, again, have a great weekend and enjoy today and the weekend. And please take good care of yourself and try to deal with your neuropathy the best you can. Again, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Birthday.